All right, what's up, guys? Danny Boy here from Wave 89.1 in Manila. And I got an artist who's just oozing with so much talent that is pretty much unfair, man. So welcome, FINNEAS. How you doing?
Hey, thanks for taking time out of your day to talk to me. It's nice to meet you.
It's same, man. Thank you for taking your time as well. It's an honor to be in your presence, man. You're such a talented guy, and I'm a big fan. So I'm glad to be able to talk to you. And how are you holding up during these crazy times, man? I'm sure due to the circumstances, you're probably missing something. What do you miss the most right now?
What do I miss the most? The answer that I always come back to is like playing shows. I just love playing shows. And that's like obviously the thing that, you really can't do it all. I feel like most other things, there are ways to do a safe version of that. Like I can go out to a coffee shop and wear a mask and get my coffee and then sit outside somewhere and drink it and not feel like I'm hurting anyone, but like we can't play shows anywhere. And I'm really excited to do that again at some point. But I can't really, I'm healthy, my family's healthy, and, we're just making a lot of music. The fun thing about writing and producing from home already is I'm cut out for this.
Yes.
I definitely am prepared.
I can imagine. You seem like you're the type to grind at home anyway. So there you go. You have that.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. And I know that you're here to talk about your latest single, What They'll Say About Us. And it just came out. And can you kind of just talk about the track,
Sure.
the meaning behind it and what you want the fans to get out of it after hearing it?
Absolutely. This was a song that I wrote back in June. I had been going to a lot of protests with my sister and my girlfriend, and like a bunch of my friends were there too, although, I wasn't going with them. I just would see them there. And I find protests to be like a really inspiring experience. They make me feel very hopeful, and they're very powerful. They're kind of emotional experiences. And then I would go home every night and I would like check in on Nick Cordero, who is this Broadway actor who I did not know in person ever, but he was in the hospital because of COVID-19, and his wife Amanda would document his progress every day. So I was like following her at the same time as I was like going to all these protests. So it was kind of like both of those things coming together was like the thing that inspired this song. It's like how it feels to like be going to this protest and be like, wow, we're changing the world, or at least we want to change the world and we hope the world will change. But also like the thing that is like the most immediate is like our loved ones, right? So like if your loved endangered in any way, like that's going to be the top priority for you. So it was kind of those two things.
Right. I wanted to ask you something about the song. What would you say is your favorite phrase or line or lyric from the track? If you can pick just one.
Well, I was excited about when I started writing the song, I just liked that, like, to give you the good news, it might take patience. Cause I think that's sort of how I felt about this whole year of like, I'm still optimistic. I'm still hopeful. And it's just going to be about like waiting out this period of time, which obviously is like, the more you sit, drum your fingers on the desk is like, it's not going to speed up anything. Right. I after the second chorus, I sort of was like, well, all right, the song's kind of semi over. And then I was like, maybe I'll just repeat the first verse. And then I was like, no, I should change the first verse a little bit. And I made it about Nick's son, and that to me was that like the idea of like somebody's son who basically is like almost never going to meet their dad because they're so young was like so heartbreaking to me that I was like, oh, the song's definitely got to end with that. And that what made me feel like the song was really like a completed piece of work. I think up until that I was like, well, I like all this, but then once that was there, I was like, okay, I'm very proud of this.
Awesome. And it's a great song. So everyone watching and listening right now, please do listen to it and request for it. But let me just ask you some questions about the Philippines, if I may. So your sister Billie Eilish's tour was supposed to be this year, and it sold out in literally minutes. And you're supposed to be with her.
Excited to be there.
You were coming, right? You were coming with her, were you?
I play on stage with her. So I was like, we were supposed to tour all year. I was devastated when that all got canceled.
Man. You never been to the Philippines before?
We haven't yet. This was going to be our first time.
Oh, that sucks. But, when things go back to normal, hopefully we're still on your tour plans. We really hope for it.
The thing we haven't announced any tour dates yet because I feel like a lot of people foolishly like announced tour dates, like they postponed and then had to cancel them again.
True.
And that, like, we just didn't want to do that. We didn't want to like put something out that we didn't know we could play. So our goal is like, we'll announce tour dates as soon as we're like, we can absolutely play these shows. But obviously we're going to try to come to everywhere that we had shows scheduled and then some, like play even more.
Awesome.
But yeah, this was going to be our first time playing, and like anytime you're in anywhere for the first time, it's like the most exciting.
Of course, and we were so excited to have you. That's why it literally sold out in a few minutes, which is crazy.
My friend Paul is in a band called Laney, and he
oh my god,
Philippines, like his favorite place to play. They're definitely like they're biggest in the Philippines, so they love the Philippines.
Definitely, and your streaming numbers are high in the Philippines and throughout Asia. What would you like to say to your fans out here in the Philippines, and anyone that you heard of, like any artists from Southeast Asia or the Philippines that maybe you've heard of?
Well, fans in the Philippines, I'd like to say thank you for being like early birds. I feel like even since I first started putting out solo music, like I've seen on like Spotify and Apple Music and stuff, I've seen the map where like there's more listeners in the Philippines places, and I feel very grateful for that and very proud of that. And so I love you all, and I can't wait to come play shows in the Philippines. Definitely.
To backtrack just a little bit, you won 5 Grammys on your work with Billie's debut album, When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go? When you recorded that with her, did you know that it was going to be this huge and gain this much accolades and stuff like that? Like how was that for you?
I didn't know, but I was really proud of that album, and I thought it was awesome. Like I think sometimes people make stuff and they're like, I don't know if it's good or not, but I was like, this is great. This sounds so good. And I remember this guy, John, is a friend of mine, and he masters our music. So we have a guy named Rob mix it, and then this guy, John, masters it, which is just sort of like compression and limiting and EQ. Anyway, he called me when he was mastering it, and he was like, it's really good. Sounds really, really good. And I was like, I know. I think it's gonna be big deal. And I didn't know it would, but I just knew that I loved it. So the bottom line is like I would recommend that everyone make art that they just love, because that was so exciting for me.
Right, during this hiatus because of COVID, and I know you just said that you miss doing shows. Do you ever think about doing some type of online event? But any thought to that? Something like that?
Yeah. And we're definitely like exploring what the most interesting version of that would be. I want to make sure that like it's exciting enough sounding that people will tune into it. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I think that's like I try to think of myself as an audience member. So like anytime anyone's like, I'm going to do this thing, I'm like, oh, I have to go see that. So I want to give people that feeling. Cause sometimes people are like, hey, I'm going to do a Instagram live concert. And I'm like, have fun. But yeah.
Okay. All right. So what's next for you? I know the video just dropped for the song as well. And well, let me get to that. The visuals, what inspired you to make it the way you did, the video itself?
Well, I have this director, Sam Bennett, who's done like 5 of my videos in a row, and he's awesome. And what normally happens is I send him a song, I explain to him what the song's about, and he sends me like a couple different ideas of like a treatment for the video. And I really just pick my favorite one. And then he's just got a great eye, and so it always ends up looking like even better than like he told me it was going to look. Like when he explains stuff, I'm like, I don't know how that's going to look, and then it always looks
it looks amazing, very cinematic. I love the angles and the shots, and it's a really dope song and great video, and something we need right now. You know, music, I always say this is an escape from, whatever you're going through, right? And you are great at expressing yourself through your lyrics. And we really appreciate it, man. And before you go, one last message for the Philippines, because I know you're a busy guy.
My message to everybody, and especially to anyone in the Philippines, is just like, I hope you're all staying safe. I miss getting to see different parts of the world, and I can't wait to come to the Philippines whenever it's safe to travel again. And just stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourselves and your family, and try not to spend too much time on Twitter, because it. So, Yeah, that's my piece of advice.
All right. And one last thing, is there like a whole album coming out? Is there like an official project?
There'll be like projects at some point, but right now it's just like song by song, just like trying to get all the pieces right.
Okay, very cool. Well, Phineas, thank you so much for your time, and best of luck. And everyone watching and tuning in, do stream his new song, of course, What They'll Say About Us. Take care, bro.
I appreciate it. Hope you have a great rest of your evening or morning or whatever time it is where you are.
Take care, man.
All right, take care.